Hi there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for my live reaction and player ratings live stream following Chelsea 0, Newcastle United 2, or as I should call it, Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 0 in the Carabao Cup. Fourth round, I think it was, would have been in the quarterfinals had we gone through. But unfortunately, our manager decided to play games instead of serious football. I don't really know. I'm a bit blown away today, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm slightly shocked by how badly Maresca messed up today. I can't really put my finger on why he thought it was a good idea to play this weak of a team. Like, what is this lineup? I'm blown away. I'm absolutely blown away. I do not understand anything of why this game happened the way it did. But to even then go on top of it, yeah, you could talk about Maresca messed up with the lineup and this and that. Also, why didn't we make more subs than bringing Mudryk on? I do not understand at all. I've got to say, I do not understand at all. But also, like, the way the game went, like, obviously we were terrible, especially in the first half, and Newcastle could have scored way more. They had a huge chance super early in the game already. Although Dewsbury also had a huge chance super early in the game already and just screwed it up really, really badly. But then we managed to concede 2 in the space of 3 minutes, and we just can't defend, man. We just cannot defend first we fall asleep on an easy set piece. And then that was the second goal. And then what is Disasi doing on that own goal? Like, there was no one there. He just poked it home and conceded an own goal. It was like he did it for fun. Oh, my days. Like Ranking Pan said, well, Nkunku. Well, Nkunku. What on earth was that, mate? What was that? I do not know. He was shocking. Shocking. He says, just kidding. We won't get today all round. Big up Laurenz at least. Hopefully this will be therapeutic. Well, I hope so too, guys. I hope so too. As you can see, just myself today. So get involved in the chat. I want to interact with you guys. Want to go back and forth if you have questions, things to talk about, points to make, things that you disagree with of mine. Just put it all in the chat, but just make sure you elaborate yourself. If you keep yourself, I know obviously to type it quickly, you keep it short, but if you keep it too short, I don't understand sometimes what you mean. Enzo, Carney is way better than Kieran Dewsbury. Shock, as if I haven't said that since August. Anyone still thinking Nkunku should start over Jackson? I don't bloody think so. In all fairness, are Benoit, Badiashile, and Axel Disasi better than Trevor Chalobah? No, of course they're not. And also, I've been saying that since God knows how long. Joe says, by the way, hello, Joe. Obviously, as you can see, guys, he is a member of the channel. If you want to become a member of the channel as well, have your little icon next to your name. And make sure that your messages pop up to me so I actually make sure that I read them and see them. He says, embarrassing tonight. Very few of them deserve a Premier League place, that's for sure. Maybe Cuckoo, but that's it. Anyone think that we can cope with only Nico as a striker? January 1st, Osimhen in. Absolutely no. Piss off with Osimhen. I absolutely do not want that cretin. It's not the fact we lost, it's the way we lost. Yeah. I mean, we'll deep dive into it. Castellani and Carney should have started tonight. I love Vegas passion, but he ain't no CM. I'm sorry, Lee, but I don't think if Casarai started, things would have gone so much better. You're like, oh, things were brilliant. And you probably would have said Vega should have started or whatever. Welcome back to your weekly therapy session. Thankfully, this season, we haven't needed such severe therapy as much. But my God, it's just so... That was depressing today. I mean, let's talk about it, right? I'll come back to more of your comments in a minute. I need to respond to this one. Dylan says, Enzo Maresca out. I say, Dylan, shut up. What is this? But I mean, let's just deep it for a second, right? We changed the entire team. Let me actually scroll back to, Chelsea posting the team because it just blew my mind by how bad that team was. Where is it? There you go. So, and I see this. Jörgensen, sure. Disasi at right back, not happy, but expected. Tosin, Badiashile, sure. Cucurella, also sure. Enzo Fernandez back in the team, makes sense. Renato Vega, to be honest, I could see it coming too. That he's playing with Cucurella and Disasi. Like, why didn't Cucurella just play right back and Vega left back? Like, one less defensive player. I don't know, just a thought. But then it gets confusing. You see the final 4 players. Dewsbury Hall, Joao Felix, Mudryk, and Nkunku. I'm like, sorry, who's playing on the right wing? Turns out, our manager thought Kieran Dewsbury Hall isn't already shit enough in his actual position. Let me play him out of position and pretend that he's not any more shit there. So that was brilliant. We should have been 1-0 up in the first minute of the game or first 3 minutes of the game. Instead, he ruined it. So I just don't understand. Maybe I should make it a bit bigger for you guys so you can actually read those names, but not like you didn't know the 11. But my God, what are we doing? I mean, let's look at the stats. I haven't even looked at the stats myself yet, if we're being perfectly honest. So I'm going to be intrigued as well by what I'm about to see here. But let's I guess discuss it and dissect it together. As you can see, we conceded after 23 minutes, 3 Isak. Just poor defending, just really poor defending, and the second one is really poor defending as well. But yeah, Newcastle beat us 2-0. We had 66% possession, all nice and good. We had more XG, also all nice and good. On the weekend, we had less XG and 1. We had 17 shots, 4 on target, which isn't a lot, but they still had less. They had 2 shots on target and scored 2 goals. I mean, fucking hell. We had so many passes, 601 passes for absolutely no reason. 95% of them. I mean, yeah, like you see, 17 shots, 4 off target, 4 on target, 9 blocked shots. Honestly, these lot blocked everything tonight. Like, as much as I can be critical, I want to be critical of what Chelsea pulled off today. Also, a little bit of credit to Newcastle. Like, I thought they learned really well from what we did against them on Sunday. Obviously, they benefited from the fact that we played a much worse team and just could not play it out from the back, and they killed us with that on multiple occasions. But still, they learned well from it, and they managed to stop us a lot better. And they were also like put their bodies on the line. But that's just what you get when you play Newcastle away, and when you play Newcastle in your own place. It's 2 different ball games. But let's compare the first and the second half, because I'd assume the first half was a lot worse. But let's see. So we had 64% possession, basically nearly none in expected goals. We had that Dewsbury Hall chance early, and then 2 Joao Felix chances. That was it. Second half, 1.3 in XG. You see how little Newcastle are, which I'm surprised about because they hit the post. So I'm a little bit surprised by how they can only have 0.08, because you hit they hit the post and the keeper wouldn't have had that. So I'm a little bit surprised by that. But I mean, sorry guys, why did no one tell me? Why did no one tell me that I wasn't showing you this in big enough? Let me actually do something quickly on my phone. Give me half a second, so I will get the live chat up on there. So I don't necessarily always have to be on the same page to actually look at it. I mean, you know what? Lewis had this Carabao Cup background here. I'm not a fan. Let me change it to blue. I feel like that's nicer, less depressing, you know? Yeah, I mean, I'll get to a couple of your messages in a minute, because bloody hell, what are some of you lot saying? So I've got the ad in front of me. First, did I already turn the sound off? Yes, I did. So we can pause that, and I've got the chat here. There you go. So I can actually look at the chat when I'm on a different screen as well. But let me go through a few more of your messages. Is Sancho eligible on Sunday? If not, why wasn't he involved tonight? Jadon Sancho was ill tonight, actually, guys. That's why he was not involved. But I actually asked myself the same question. Is he eligible? Because he's obviously on loan, which means in theory he shouldn't be. But because it's an obligation to buy, I'm not sure if that changes anything, but I'm not sure. Having 2 goalkeepers on the bench, playing Disasi at right back needs to end. Yeah, both of those things need to end. Actually, I'm pretty sure we didn't actually have 2 goalkeepers on the bench tonight. Let me look at that. No, we only had... Oh, no, we did. You're right. Sorry. It was just not Sanchez. It was Bergström and Bettinelli. We had a 3rd and 4th choice goalkeeper on the bench. Very useful, that, isn't it? Yaros, I was saying yesterday, there isn't much difference between Jörgensen and Sanchez. Both are backup goalkeepers at best. 100% agree. Need another striker in January. I just think we need to just play Jackson. Like, there's no reason why Nicholas Jackson could not have played today. There's no reason whatsoever. But not only did he not play, he wasn't even on the bench. What the fuck? What is that decision? I do not understand. Disaster loves an own goal, doesn't he? He kind of does. If any of our defenders from the first team get injured, we're in big trouble, guys. Well, I think Tosin is okay, but the others I agree. Please don't ever play Disasi and Badiashile again. Disasi, Badiashile, and Tosin all rubbish. B team stinks. Hi. Well, hello, Daniel. Hope you're well. Have we scored from a corner this season? Have we come close to scoring? We did. We did score away at Wolves, the first goal for the 1-0 in that game by Nicholas Jackson. That was a corner. I can't remember if we scored another corner, if I'm being honest. But, yeah, it might just be that one. I mean, honestly, I don't hate our corners at the moment. We try to drag them really close to the goalkeeper every time. I kind of hope for something to happen there. But so far, that's really gone our way, I will say. And I never want to see Kiernan Dewsbury Hall on the wing ever again. What a useless player he is out there. Well, what a useless player he is anywhere, quite frankly. I think the lineup, I don't understand. Why did we not play a proper right back? Well, why did we not do many things? I'm being honest, like, there's many questions that I have on that note. Felix today was like the worst version of Sterling. And I thought Felix was probably better than most of our other players. And I didn't think Felix was good. I just thought it was still better than most of the other players. JP just says, low. Dan King, 10 players stayed on. Many players will never play for Chelsea again. What? It will play next week, bro. Pick up Laurenz. I told you last time, shit opposition in the levels in the Conference League been making this Maresca guy look good. Except that we've been good in the Premier League. It's more that the the Conference League has been making this B team look good rather than Maresca. But we'll talk about it. Can't defend Maresca here. 6 months now. I know defense in place. Still easy to concede. It's what? 6 months? Sorry. What? It's not even November yet. What are you talking about? It's 3 months. What? I'm so confused. Like, I mean, he's had a little bit of July, but essentially he's had August, September, October. That's 3 months, not 6 months, bro. Chillax. You know what I mean? Relax. But yeah, in particular, the second string team, it just cannot defend. I mean, the first team can't defend either, but they're at least doing this against usually slightly better oppositions. But I mean, the B team, no matter who they play against, they have defensive foul after defensive foul, except against Barrow. Do you know what I mean? Against Ghent, against Panathinaikos, everyone. It's everyone, not just today against Newcastle. Look at our defenders. Look at the defenders he has to work with. If one of Cole or Fofana get injured, suspended, we're screwed. I mean, Fofana was already suspended against Liverpool, remember? I think Enzo Fernandez was poor in the game. Yeah, I thought in particular the first half it was absolutely disgustingly bad. In the second half, it was decent, to be fair, I thought, but yeah, we'll get to that. How did we not make more than one sub? That's what I want to know. I like Maresca, but Carney could have made a difference, and obviously Palmer, yeah, exactly. Fernandez bringing his poor winning percentage to the B team. No, bloody hell. What? He picked the team. He picked Kiernan Dewsbury on right wing for no reason. No, as if Noni Madueke couldn't have started another game. He gets rested every midweek, doesn't play any midweek. Every other team, Havertz played for Arsenal tonight, City played half their strongest 11, Newcastle played almost their strongest 11. Everyone does, just we can't. What? Like, I understand it for the Conference League games, which are far below our level, and we need to give the squad minutes. But sorry, this is a serious cup game against a serious opposition in a much more difficult place than playing them at home in the league, because Newcastle away is a whole different kettle of fish. So playing Kiernan Dewsbury Hall at right wing for no reason, shocking. Playing essentially a midfield three of two fullbacks, shocking. What is that? Like, it's absolutely vile. And one of those fullbacks is kind of a centre-back. Sport directors need to be sacked. Yeah, I mean, I agree. But the only good news is that our B team, that was our A team last season. Fair enough. The difference between Lampard and Tuchel was the ability to organise the defence. Applies to Maresca same way. Nah, I disagree with that. I think the way we concede goals is more about stupidity rather than it is about Maresca's defending, especially because the large majority of the goals we do concede come from set pieces, which we have a separate set piece coach for. So if you have a go at any of the coaches for the defending, it's the set piece coach. Don't get me started on Enzo Fernandez. He was rubbish. My God, just think we gave Felix a 7-year contract. 7-year contract for him. Can't believe that. Such a can't play, and I thought so as well, to be honest. Caicedo, Lavia, Jackson was missed today. I mean, Lavia, I understand not being used, but the other ones, man, no, he's not available Sunday. Sancho, United, Paracamp. That's what I thought. But like I say, does an obligation for a loan change the situation? But I think Lewis Hall wasn't allowed to play against us last season either. Mudryk, honestly, I thought Mudryk was half decent, in particular in the first half. Second half, he was decent. The first half, I don't think it was really his fault, but yeah. So what does our supposed set piece coach, I assume, actually do? Nothing. But yeah, what am I saying? Okay. I'm seeing too many messages at the moment. Let me get to the team, because otherwise we'll never get there. Let me get to the team. So this was essentially the base that we had. If I zoom in a little bit, not quite that much. But then obviously it shifted around. It shifted around to essentially be I'll be done in a second. We did what we quite often do, our 3-3-4 shape. And that's essentially what we did. Badiashile, Chelsea at the back, and Disasi at the back. Cucurella as the left side of centre mid, Enzo as the right side as the central centre mid and the deepest of the lot, and Vega as the right side of centre mid, and then a front four, no real striker. And really, Mudryk was more, and Mudryk and Dewsbury Hall were more like down here. That was really more what it was. It was more of a 3-5-2, if we're being totally honest, than a 3-3-4. But yeah, officially, I guess, put them somewhere in the middle here. But yeah, that's how we played, and it didn't work. It just didn't work. Like, we played so many parts between the back three. They got pressured so bloody easily. It was an absolute joke. We couldn't get out the press at all. When we got the ball to Mudryk or Dewsbury Hall, they were covered by a defender here, and by a midfielder from that side. Could only pass it back. The same went like literally on both sides. In the second half, we managed to split it open a bit more often and give the wingers positions to actually do something. Madueke in particular, but also Mudryk actually. But yeah, we just couldn't. But we can talk about Felix and Nkunku, and sure, they didn't do anywhere near enough in the moments that they had. But for the majority of the game, the ball was passed around between these three players. In the first half, quite far back, and in the second half, quite high up, because Newcastle sat deeper a lot. But essentially it was these four that were creating the main issues. Not sure Vega wasn't good, Enzo wasn't good, Cucurella didn't have his best day either. Dewsbury Hall, the less said about him, the better. But my God, I'm just really not sure. What else am I seeing? If we sack those sporting directors, who would bring in as an elite sporting director? Mate, honestly, I don't know, because it also doesn't really matter to me, because like I'm no sporting director expert. You know, the one that a lot of people wanted was the Liverpool guy, Michael Edwards, and now he's back at Liverpool because we didn't move quickly enough. Just give me half a second, guys. I can keep speaking to you. Just quickly turn off my camera. I'll be right back. Just someone walking through in the background. My apologies. I am back already. Maybe I should make this a little bit bigger so you can actually see it. Why is there no middle ground here? It just pisses me off that I can't find a middle ground in terms of size of the screen. But I mean, 50% of this B team should go. It's not even about go or not go, but yeah, I get you. Joel is saying, big love, bro. Gotta go, but see you soon. Hey, have a good one. Have a good one. Have a good night, bro. And I'll see you hopefully very, very soon, Joel. Kevin just said disastrous. More music says one team clearly wanted it more. Some players couldn't even make a 2-yard pass. Shocking, really. Yeah, 100%. Vega and Enzo was a problem. Juice says no transition. I mean, hey, let's talk about it. Let me bring up the lineup. Let's talk about that, because obviously we'll need to look at a few stats as we started off. We're talking about Philip Jörgensen. Obviously, there was a lot of debate about Robert Sanchez as of late. You know, a lot of criticism, whether it was on our podcast with myself and Pice or in other places. At the end of the day, Jörgensen proved today why he's not playing over Robert Sanchez. Now, I thought he had moments where he was okay, but, you know, the passing wasn't really any better. The saving certainly wasn't any better. So, you know what I mean? It really wasn't that great. I mean, the passing accuracy of 88% is actually good, but he only played 7 long balls. Why? So this is an interesting question. Why did Robert Sanchez play 19 long balls on Sunday against the same team with nearly the same opposition? And Philip Jörgensen played only 7 long balls tonight. Now, obviously, one big difference is having Nicholas Jackson up front and today having Nkunku up front. But is that really the only difference? And again, I reiterate, are you telling me Nicholas Jackson couldn't have played one midweek game from now until Christmas? Because he's not going to play any others anyway. You know what I mean? Like, the only positive about losing this game, by the way, guys, is the fact that we are avoiding ourselves this terrible, terrible run of fixtures that we could have had in December, where we would have played Thursday in China, nearly against Astana away in the east of Kazakhstan. Then we would have played Sunday against Brentford in the league. Then we would have had the Tuesday in the next cup round. Then the Thursday in the Conference League. And then again on the Sunday in the Premier League. So at least we're saving us that. That's maybe the only thing. But yeah, interesting. I mean, put it in the chat if anybody else is thinking, why was there so many more long balls from the keeper against on Sunday, when the manager keeps saying the Sanchez is doing what he's asking from him. And now this keeper did something completely different. Did he not do what he was asked? Or why did he ask him something differently? Is it purely because it wasn't Jackson up front? I'm not sure, but it certainly was great. Let me go back to the other screen and we talk about that rating. I would probably give him 4.5, because I don't think he was really at fault for the goals as such. I think he should have done better in general, but I don't think he was directly at fault for the goal. There was other people at fault for that, if you ask me. But yeah, you know what, guys? As we're talking, I quickly need to. You could argue I shouldn't have to do that, but I need to. I need to quickly watch back Isak's goal, because genuinely I'm a little bit confused and can't remember. So yeah, I can find it. Oh yeah, it was the one where we got pressed. I forgot. How could I forget? Badiashile just passing it to Vega. Vega gets pressed by Joelinton. Ball falls to Isak and he just rolls it home. Sorry guys, I just needed to remind myself essentially. How's that? But then there you go. But yeah, for Jörgensen, I would give him a 4.5. Would anybody have a disagreement with that? Would anybody give him a different rating than a 4.5? Yairo said 4. I understand it. Let me go back to the chat here. Dan King says, Cucurella, Felix, and Mudryk, I assume, or even Enzo. Many of these players won't play for Chelsea for a while. If again, the cup was a chance for them to play, but by leaving them on, many of them will not play for a while. Again, all of them pretty much will play next Thursday against Noah. Literally nearly all of them. I'm sorry, bro. They won't play in the Prem. I agree with that. They won't get in the Prem team anytime soon. But in general, they will most certainly get minutes and game time. Let's move up the pitch. I don't want to be here too long tonight either. So, let's just get through it. Tosin. I think it was better than the other two. Let's bring up the stats. Where is he? Tosin, Adaraya Bioyo. I still struggle with that name, man. Tosin Adarabioyo. That's it. I mean, 96% passing accuracy, 92 of 96, sure, but obviously 95% of them were short balls around the back, which made absolutely no difference, if we're being honest. 1 out of 2 long balls, 1 out of 1 tackles, 1 out of 2 ground duels, 2 out of 2 aerial duels. He played a really, really nice pass to Joao Felix for our biggest chance of the game, which Joao Felix just messed up really badly. That was a good pass by Tosin, but otherwise... But I thought he was the least bad of all of the back three. I don't know about you. I mean, if we look at the other stats, look at Badiashile, similar amount of passes, similar accuracy, to be fair. Also, only 1 long ball. We just didn't want long balls today, did we? 2 out of 2 tackles, 2 out of 5 ground duels. A lovely through ball to Mudryk, which should have set up a huge chance for Nkunku. But unfortunately, Nkunku bottled it, which was really frustrating. But yeah, Badiashile, just so many bad passes. The pass, I know the accuracy is really high here. But the first goal that we conceded, the pass to Vega, sure, it reached Vega. But it should have never been passed to Vega because Vega literally had 2 players right on him. And the pass was under hit by Badiashile. It was just absolutely terrible. It was just diabolical. Then that moment just before halftime where he gives it away and just because he can't control it and they get a big chance out of that, the amount of times... I mean, I can't believe that this is supposedly his passing accuracy because I remember so many misplaced passes. Maybe they weren't directly misplaced and often just found a teammate, but, you know, the teammate was under so much pressure that they lost it immediately. For Disasi, obviously the own goal, just poor. Like, what is he doing? I understand it's tricky. He's right in front of goal. He's trying to probably clear it, I guess. But it's just a howler. Disasi, to be fair to him, he was trying a lot going forward. Like, he was trying more than most of our players were. You could see 3 out of 4 accurate crosses is actually really impressive. And I'm not saying he was any good, but he was more than the others pushing and trying to do something. But obviously, he also scored an own goal, so he was probably trying to make up for that. 2 out of 6 ground duels is also not very good, is it? Aerial duels, obviously, him playing right back kind of wasn't going to be in that situation very, very often. But if we go back to the rating screen, I'll give Tosin 4. I'll give Badiashile a 3. And I'll give Disasi a 3.5. And I know he scored an own goal, so you could argue for that reason I need to rate him lower than Badiashile. But okay, I'll give him a 3 as well. I'll give him a 3 as well. My God, 3 incompetent goalkeepers. What am I reading in the chat? 3 incompetent goalkeepers. Who sanctioned this? Who's the third? Another issue is Chilwell. Why is Chilwell on the bench whilst this ass is playing? What happened to Gilchrist? Gilchrist is on loan, bro. He's on loan to Sheffield United. Why keep Badiashile but loan out Chalobah, who had a great game against Tottenham? I mean, I didn't see that game. How could you have seen that game? Now that you have seen that game, I question anything you say about our game because how closely could you have followed our game if you're watching another game at the same time? Chilwell, should he have been on the bench today? No, I can understand that argument because we already had 2 left backs on the pitch, man. But it should have just been Gusto in the squad. There was no reason not to have him in the squad. He was already rested against Panathinaikos last Thursday. He could have just been in the squad, man. I mean, yeah. Do people have drastic disagreements with my ratings for the defenders here? I don't think so. I could probably give out lower than 3s as well, if I'm being totally honest. I need to get to Enzo Fernandez now because, my God, I was not happy today. 3 across the whole back line, rubbish. Yeah, fair, Yara as well. Not too far off, obviously, what I gave in the end. Let me move on to Enzo Fernandez because we need to talk about him as well. Let's look at the stats. 88% passing completion. Obviously, a lot of passes. 106 of 121 passes. It's not bad, is it? But 1 out of 8 crosses should be better. 3 out of 6 long balls is okay, I guess. 0 out of 2 tackles, not great. 3 out of 5 grounds is actually okay. Sorry. Sorry, Dan King. Sorry, my bad. It's a fair point because Palace wasn't playing Spurs tonight because Spurs were playing City. Yeah, valid. I mean, I agree, bro. I agree that Chalobah should be here. I 100% agree. Not necessarily over Badiashile because that's a completely other side for the backside and Chalobah wouldn't and shouldn't be playing left centre back at all. But I agree. I agree. But mostly I just think this is a Maresca. They didn't all have to play. We could have just played a normal team, but instead he played Dewsbury Hall at right wing. But yeah, Enzo Fernandez in particular in the first half. I wish I could look at first half stats because, my God, he was so bad. Bloody hell, what am I seeing? I mean, I'll go back off this screen in a second, but I guess so it's clear who I'm talking about. But he was so bad in the first half. The amount of misplaced passes, also in the lead up to the first goal, actually was such an unnecessary misplaced pass from Enzo on his left foot and his right foot. They were inaccurate, even when they reached their target in the end, because, well, you know, Newcastle was hitting deep, and you say Mudryk or whatever had time to run onto it when it was still 10 yards, 15 yards away from him. Honestly, that was poor. Like last week against Panathinaikos, I said, see, you know, Enzo playing a bit deeper, that helped him. He could get on the ball more. It looks more like a normal Enzo Fernandez. No, we haven't seen him be in that number 10 position in weeks and months. And I'm like, put him there again. Not because, you know, just because the others weren't doing anything there. That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, okay, I didn't want Enzo in that position, but it's not like I want Cucurella or Vega or Gusto in another game. I don't want them in those positions either, if I'm being totally honest, right? I'll give Enzo, not quite as low as the centre-backs, but I'll give him a 4. Just because I thought the second half was okay and there was a few nice in-behind passes that other players should have done a little bit more with. But I could probably, you know what? No, actually, I'm going to give him a 3.5. A little bit more than some of these backline players, but actually less than Tosin. Honestly, I'm not too unhappy with that. Not too unhappy with that. Let's get to Marco Correa, shall we? I haven't looked at his stats either yet. I will bring them up in a moment. Let me open them here. He has a fairly high rating compared to most other players. By the way, there's just one of you here, so all of you, please hit the like button. I will see how many have pressed the like button. Please do. And also, if you haven't already, check out mine and Pice's podcast called Chelsea Unfiltered Podcast. It's available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you listen to podcasts on other platforms, we apologize. Let us know if you need it and want it on other platforms. Then we can see whether we can do something else for that. But yeah, check it out. Links in the description to the latest episode that was released yesterday. But yeah, we get to Cucurella. Passing accuracy is okay. Yeah, one shot that got blocked. One cross that was, to be fair, accurate. 0 accurate long balls. 2 tackles. 4 to 7 duels. I mean, not bad. Like, certainly better than a lot of other players, but I just didn't really notice him. And in these kind of games is where I kind of hope to see a little bit more of Cucurella, if I'm honest. I'll give him a 5. I don't think it was as bad as the others, but I'll give him a 5. I still don't think he deserves an average rating. Kevin said 6, but yeah, I wouldn't even give him a 6 if I'm honest. Misplaced easy passes, the trigger to press. I assume that was for the back line. He was so bad. I assume that was for Enzo Fernandez. But yeah, it just wasn't great from Cucurella, was it? It really, 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 really wasn't anything special. That's all I mean. Like, he wasn't awful. He didn't make any mistakes that led to anything dramatic, so it's okay. But yeah, Renato Vega. I mean, he had, other than Joao Felix in the second half and Joao Felix once in the first half, he probably our biggest shot of the game, chance of the game. Oh, actually, and Dewsbury Hall, I forgot about him. See, we had such a weird high amount of chances considering how badly we played. It's kind of strange. But yeah, Vega, 93% passing accuracy. I'm slightly surprised by, to be honest. That shot almost was kind of dangerous, that one you can see on screen there. 0 out of 2 long balls, 1 out of 2 tackles, okay. 2 out of 6 ground duels, that should be a bit better. Some unnecessary fouls. 1 or 2 nice passes, sure, but sorry. Like, my main issue is, why is Renato Vega, who is, for me, from the body, and when you see him play, you can still see that he's essentially a centre-back that is just technically fairly gifted, so can do other things. That's what I think. So, centre-back, left-back, those 2 positions. Who can invert into midfield because he's physically strong, good touch, and decent passing, sure. But he essentially played right centre-mid. He's a left-footed centre-back, and he played right box-to-box midfielder. What is that? Nah, that is just mental. Like, you could have just played Mudryk and then played Dewsbury Hall there. Even when the sub happened, even when he made subs finally, he still left Vega there. Like, I get physicality and everything, but come on, man. If you play Vega, you need to play him over there. And I know the issue is you don't want Cucurella and Vega. You can't play them both over there. I get it. But you ruined that with your lineup against Newcastle on the weekend. So I just don't think there was enough forward thinking, if I'm being honest. I just really, really do not think there was enough forward thinking from the manager. And Naciolini, shut up. I mean, you're probably right, but shut up. Hopefully, I pray to God we can end our dry spell or our curse at Old Trafford. My God. So that was a stinker, an absolute stinker. What do I give Renato Vega, man? I'll give him a 4. Yeah, like I say, he had that one chance in the first half that he just didn't get enough on it, got it blocked slightly wide, but should have just had a better shot and didn't get it blocked. So I gave him a 4. I still think it was better than Enzo in a way, but also I have less expectations. It was much more out of position and everything. So, yeah. I move on to Kieran Dewsbury-Hall. Honestly, I want to give him an NA. I want to give him an NA. Like, what? Why? Like, I don't rate and don't like him as he is. I really don't. I mean, I like him as a dude, but as a player, I don't. But why the flip did he have to play right wing? Like, I even feel slightly bad for him. Okay, only missed one misplaced pass because he didn't do fucking anything. That's why. 1 shot, 2 dribbles. To be fair, succeeded his 2 dribbles. Doesn't look that bad here. 4 out of 4 ground duels, 1 as well. There's positives there. But you could see just isn't the right wing. He wasn't getting in those positions. He wasn't in the right spaces. He wasn't doing the right things, what you want the right winger to do when they get the ball. He had 1 shot to shoot, and he messed it up. He basically rolled it into the arms of the goalkeeper. And you could see what a difference it made once Mudryk came on to replace him in the second half. It was a huge difference. It was an absolutely ginormous difference. I'm not going to be too harsh, again, because out of position. So I'm going to give him a 4. But he was just poor, and he just shouldn't be there. I mean, what are you expecting of this right side? Dewsbury-Hall right wing, Renato Vega right centre mid, and Disasi right centre back, right back. What are you expecting to do with that? Like, think about it, Maresca. It was just awful from you. I'm sorry. It was really, really bad from Enzo Maresca today. I'm really disappointed in today. Not like, yeah. Obviously, I want to win the Carabao Cup, but I'd much rather get knocked out today than I would losing the final again. So I will say that. But obviously, we want to win a final. We've lost too many finals in a row now. I guess this time we can't at least lose a final. But it's been way too long since we won a domestic trophy. And obviously, the Carabao Cup, you can win it early in the season. It can put you in good stead for the rest of the season. Sure, there's many positives to it. But I was certainly happier winning on the weekend in the Premier League than losing today, saving ourselves some difficult, fixture lists and whatever. But it's just frustrating and just disappointing. Let's get to Mykhailo Mudryk. I thought in the first half he was just insanely quiet. It's the biggest issue, but I didn't even think that was necessarily his fault. Like the way the game was, the way we played it so slowly out the back. Whenever the Mudryk got the ball, he had 2 players, sometimes 3 players around him, and the only thing he could do was pass it backwards. But then in the second half, he actually started to get things going. He had 90% passing accuracy, only 4 of them misplaced, decently good. Created 2 chances. Honestly, it was probably more than that. Created a big one for Joao Felix. Created a big one for Christopher Nkunku. And Nkunku just messed up his touch so badly instead of essentially scoring. 67 touches. That must be one of the most touches Mykhailo Mudryk ever had in a Chelsea shirt in a game. In particular, in the second half, must have been many. 1 out of 3 successful dribbles. Felt like more, if I'm honest. 1 out of 5 successful crosses. I mean, if we're only talking high crosses, maybe. 2 tackles. 7 out of 11 ground duels. Pretty strong. Just certainly put a shift in defensively. I'm going to give Mudryk... What do I give Mudryk? What would you guys give Mykhailo Mudryk today, guys? Put it in the chat for me. And someone in the chat said I'd give Dewsbury-Hall a 1.5. Now, I'm not going to give him that low, but I changed my mind and I'm giving him a 3. 4 was too nice. Yes, because what is the point in his existence? For Mudryk, I'm thinking, yeah. Lucas Lima said 6.5. I was thinking somewhere between 6 and 7. I kind of want to say 7. Just because the others just did less, but I think 7 is still too high for how the overall game went. So I'll give him a 5.5, 6.5. I think 6.5 overall is the most fair. It was okay. He was okay. Kevin, to be fair, said 5.5. Felix and Nkunku, boah. Yeah, John Kennedy. Yeah. I mean, Joao Felix, let's have that conversation. Let's look at his stats as well. When did he even get booked? I didn't even see that. Joao Felix was a weird one today because in the first half, I thought he was our only half acceptable player purely because he tried to make things happen. But he also ruined things. He had a chance that was set up by Mudryk. He had a chance that he kind of set up for himself, to be fair. And a shot that should have just been better on target. He had another shot that he just blasted way over. And then he had that through ball from Tosin in the second half where it was through and goal. He poked it around the keeper, gave it way too much and just poked it next to the goal. That's what he did. The passing accuracy, 86%, sure. Only 4 misplays, not too bad. 2 out of 4 shots were on target. 1 out of 4 successful dribbles. 1 out of 4 accurate long balls, sure. 1 out of 1 tackle. Round yours, I'm not that bothered. What did the dribbling say? Did he not officially? 1 out of 1. Yeah, okay, there you go. Chances created, seemingly none. There you go. Expected goal 0.96. So he had the most because of the way he went through it. I don't know. This is where he touched the ball wide. You can see it there. This is where he touched it wide around the goalkeeper. It was just it's just poor. Because he was still lively and was more dangerous than most, other than maybe Mudryk, I will still not give him that low of a rating, but obviously he missed the most chances. So I want to give him a low rating. So I'll give him a 4 in total. Because he's the only one that was dangerous and didn't like Nkunku completely mess up anything before he even got to the moment to have a chance. But he still messed up all of his chances. So what do I do with that and what do I make of that? Very, very difficult to really, figure that out, I suppose. But the most frustrating and disappointing one for me today is Christopher Nkunku. Wow. Like, do we have a problem? Like, I mean, someone was saying it earlier in the chat. Do we have a problem only having essentially Nicholas Jackson as a striker? And at the moment, it does feel like a bit of a problem. Sure, in the Conference League, it was fine. And also, I'm not saying Nkunku coming off the bench and being a backup striker, for example, like a Bournemouth. I'm not saying he can't be good and win us games and do positive things then. But at the moment, it feels like I don't know if it's weighing on him, on his mentality that he's only in the second team and not really getting a look in the main team. But then when you're playing like that today, you can't, like, he can't be upset at that now, like after that performance, because that was a howler in every way, shape, and form. The only good moment he had was literally early on in the game when he essentially created a transition for us, laid it to Dewsbury Hall for that early chance in the game. But otherwise, and one he laid off to Felix, which he did okay in. But that cross from Mudryk, how he miscontrolled it so badly, that should be a first-time left-foot effort, and that should be a first-time left-foot goal. And the ball bounced 5 yards away from him to a Newcastle player. It was utterly diabolical. Utterly diabolical. I mean, misplaced 4 passes like the others. It's kind of common now. Had only 1 shot. That wasn't on target. I mean, to be fair, I had it blocked, but still, big chance. I'm not sure if that's the one where he messed up the touch or not. I'm not sure which one that was, because obviously a messed up chance doesn't show up as a shot or anything. 2 out of 3 aerial duels is more than I thought, to be honest. 2 out of 7 ground duels could be a bit better, but it just weren't good enough. It just weren't anywhere near good enough from Christopher Nkunku today. I'm extremely disappointed. I will give him as low as a 1, not a 2. 1 is a bit too harsh compared to all the others. Yeah, I genuinely don't think he deserves higher than that. I just thought it was really, really poor. Yaro says he pissed me off today. 1, useless. The entire back line made them 2 look bad. But our back line made Felix and Nkunku look bad. Is that what you're saying, John? A lot of you still calling for him to start over Jackson? Well, I certainly was never calling for that to happen, Yaro, just to be clear. I don't at all, by the way, think that Christopher Nkunku should be a lone striker. Like, I do not believe he should be anywhere near that position. I do not understand how this is what we ended up with. And why did we end up with that? Because we completely unnecessarily signed Joao Felix and also completely unnecessarily signed Kieran Dewsbury Hall. If we didn't have those two, Nkunku could just be one of our number 10s. Now, sure, then we would still need another striker, but at least you could use Nkunku. I mean, that's not his best position either, the kind of number 10s we play, but it's still better than what he is doing. Do you know what I mean? Felix on that chance from Nkunku, I would have been a goal, I swear. I mean, yeah, but then I think Nkunku would have been a goal on the chance that Felix had, on both of them, if I'm honest, on both of the big ones, the one in the first half and the one in the second half. So it's just, yeah, it just fell to the wrong people today. We're all disappointed, like we're all annoyed. We're saying Maresca messed up. We're saying like the defenders were all terrible. The problem is essentially we had 10 really bad moments in the first half, and that killed us. Like, we struggled for a while then after we went 2 down, and then for the last 10 minutes of the first half, we started to push. Second half, we started to push. We were pushing. The goal didn't come. I personally, I'm not sure how you guys felt about that, but I personally also thought that Newcastle could have had 2 red cards today. I thought in the first half on Nkunku, I thought it was an outrageously late challenge with the kind of studs up into the ankle. I've seen red cards for that. Also, Anthony Gordon, I think it was, on a Cucurella second half. That could have been a red card if you ask me. Everyone can have a different opinion, but I thought you could give a red card for that. And also, could you have argued a penalty on Madueke, a 2-handed push in his back, I think, by Gordon again, by the way. So could you have given him I mean, to be fair, he did get a yellow card, I think, the one time where I thought he could have been sent off. But yeah. Let's look at our subs. Oh, shit. It was only 1. Bloody hell. We brought Madueke on for Dewsbury Hall, and that was it. And, I mean, we can look at his stats. Let me bring them up. Let me change this screen quickly so you can see a bit better and a bit bigger. But if I go to our subs, look at the only sub we made. He played 33 minutes. Only misplaced one pass, one successful dribble, 0 out of 6 successful crosses. Yeah, I mean, he looked much more dangerous, but the stats don't look very good either, do they? What do I give Maresca? Well, I don't know. I'm not too mad at Maresca. I give him a 6 with a star. I give him a 6 with a star. I was like, nah. When the cameraman showed Cole Palmer in the second half, yeah, man, he was sat there, not even bothered. Why did see Cole? Like, we didn't take Caicedo, we didn't take Gusto, we didn't take Jackson, we didn't take so many players, but we did make Cole Palmer travel all the way to Newcastle. I mean, he's never in a Conference League squad because he's not even included in that. So fair enough. But why not use him? Why not use him? Are you telling me the Cole Palmer played every game last season? No, sure. We didn't have midweek games every week, but we still had some midweek games. Don't forget that we made it to a cup final as well. Like, we made it to this cup final that we just knocked out today. We made it past this very team that we were knocked out by today. But again, not a fair comparison at all if you talk about Maresca and Pochettino and stuff, because Pochettino played them at the bridge. Newcastle away and Newcastle at home, two very different stories. So I said that again. But yeah, let's just finish it off, or not even finish it off, but let's finish off these player ratings with Enzo Maresca. 0. I thought he screwed up everything he could have screwed up today. I thought he underestimated the opponent. I thought he underestimated the competition. I thought he screwed up by not making any changes. I thought he screwed up with his tactical instructions. Why do we play 19 long balls on Sunday against the same team, and today our goalkeeper plays 7? Why, after you can see that that we're not managing to play play through their press, why are we not sometimes playing a long ball? Why not? Like, I don't understand. Why didn't you make any subs? None of this was any acceptable. Honestly, not a single bit of this was acceptable. Let me see if I've seen any interesting quotes or whatever. I prefer not to talk about the referee. Okay, sure. I mean, yeah, maybe he has a point. They could have had 2 red cards. We could have had a penalty. A lot of things. But my God, I'll read the quote in a second. Let's get over the. I mean, I guess I'm done with the. You know, I'll give him a 1 because we need to keep zeros just in case we make it even worse on other days. But yeah, I mean, let me show you this quote by him, right? That I'm just seeing from tweeted by Pys. We lost the game because of 10 minutes. After that, we lost control. We need more control, but it's not only from Enzo Fernandez, it's in general. I assume he was probably asked something about Enzo Fernandez, but yeah, I mean, did he tweet anything else? I prefer not to talk about the referee. He says he didn't bring Palmer on because he thought Nkunku and Felix were doing well together. Oh, did you? Brilliant. I mean, I agree with Pys, but yeah, not the best, and not my favorite comments from Enzo Maresca again, unfortunately. I mean, chat, get involved. Do you have anything else to discuss that we need to talk about? Have I not spoken about anything that you felt was important? John Kennedy says, example, Badiashile and Disasi need to go, please. I mean, yeah, essentially they do. It's weird Badiashile, isn't it? Because he started the season really poorly. Then he came on against Liverpool and was actually good. Played a really good game against Panathinaikos last Thursday. Again, I'm aware, very different level of opposition. But then today he was shockingly bad. Like, today was shockingly bad. Honestly, I think it's a little bit harsh on Disasi. Again, we can't forget that he's kind of playing right back. Does he look like a right back? He certainly doesn't to me. But like, he was at least trying now. But he should also have that one amazing through ball to Mudryk. But you can't have one good moment in a game and be shocking otherwise. It's just that's just not quite good enough, is it? Oh my God. What am I seeing? What am I seeing? I will bring up the full-time thing again because it was just disappointing. And so you don't just have to look at my face in huge, which is not what anybody wants. So we can get that one up. So it's split, and we'll split it like that. So I'm at least a little bit bigger. But it's just fallen off a cliff. Isn't it weird? Like, in this first 6 months under Graham Potter, the first half season, and obviously Frank at the end, but in particular the first few months where Potter was still here, he looked really good, like really good. And then last year he looked poor most of the season. Started really bad. Like I say, had done 2 decent games, one good cameo in a difficult place at Liverpool, and then the Panathinaikos game, and then again like today. I don't know if it's. I think it's mostly confidence and then mental issues for Badiashile, but he's not doing it. He's not doing it. Like, the amount of money we have spent on defenders and goalkeepers, and the level of average defenders and goalkeepers we have, is utterly shocking and a disgrace. Like, an utter disgrace and nothing else. Like, you can't find a different word other than disgrace for it. You really, really cannot. It's just really pisses me off, man. Really pisses me off. Send him to Sporting. It's alarming. You say, yeah, it is alarming. How much money can you spend on a defense and goalkeepers and be that poor? Well, at first seeing the lineup, I wasn't expecting anything. Yeah, to be fair, when that lineup came out, I didn't expect anything either. I didn't even know who was playing where. I was like, wait, is Nkunku playing on the right? Is Felix playing on the right? Is Felix playing on the left and Mudryk playing on the right? And Nkunku still up front? But the last thing I was expecting was Disasi OG playing on the right, I'll be honest, because Disasi OG has sometimes played on the left for Leicester and the Marescas. That did happen sometimes. But as far as I'm aware, at least, he never played on the right. Why would you put him there? Like, I'm not saying put him on the left instead. I'm just saying either don't play him or play him in the middle. And like, again, when you do make that up and finally bring Maresca a proper right winger on, why not for Vega? We were 2-0 up. What were you protecting? Bring him on for Vega, shift Disasi OG further back, and be more attacking. Like, we had 2 fullbacks in the box. You're not going to win games like that. I'm not going to. I was really disappointed. I really hope Maresca learns from this. I, again, also really do not like those comments in the second half. Excuse me, those comments post-game. What is that? 10 minutes, man. I was expecting Enzo to sub out Badiashile and bring on Casadei. Why? Casadei is not a centre-back? You thought maybe Vega go back into the defense. Yeah, I guess maybe. Who knows, bro? Like, I don't think that would have changed the situation. Like at halftime we're 2-0 down already. Like, sure, before any goals we conceded, yeah, but that was 23 minutes into the game. And once it was 2-0 down, changing by the show wouldn't have won us the game, that's for sure. And we didn't concede anymore after. Newcastle didn't even try to score after that, did they? Realistically, yeah, I'm just really, really disappointed by that. I'm just really disappointed by that. I mean, what can I make of it? What can I make of it? When I look at our upcoming fixtures as well, yeah. I mean, to be fair, we're slowly coming out of the tough run of fixtures soon. But yeah, can we recall Chalobah and loan out Badiashile instead? I mean, I'd love to, but can't happen. But again, what you guys have to understand, Badiashile is a left-footed left centre-back. Chalobah is a right-footed right centre-back. So you can't just replace Chalobah with Badiashile. You can replace Disasi with Badiashile. Disasi with Chalobah. Maybe even Tosin with Chalobah, although Tosin is doing okay at least. Not good, but okay. But you can't really replace Badiashile with Chalobah. Obviously, I know you're not being 1,000% serious, but yeah, it's just frustrating. One day is more frustrating than again, guys, by the way, if you haven't already done that yet, please be sure to subscribe. That would be massively appreciated. Hit that like button as well. If you haven't done that yet, please do. You need to. Why is that not telling me anything useful? Well, goal. Interesting. We can do that in the future. I can set super chat goals now, but hey, let's not do that for now. Romani says Maresca is low-key a fraud. The good players like Palmer, I said, are hiding it for now, but eventually people will see. Hope it won't be too late. Saw no real strategy. Their recruitment is bad too. I mean, I think you're overdoing it dramatically again. See, like you can see, I'm annoyed. I said Maresca messed up today. I think the defeat is mostly Maresca today. I was critical of the players, but you just take it too far again. I don't understand why. I'm going to say our fan base, but a lot of football fans always have to, like, why? Why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, shock. Our best players make the manager look better. Doesn't that apply to every manager ever? Their best players make them look better. That's the whole point of having your best players. But yeah, the recruitment is an issue. Like in terms of centre backs, in terms of goalkeepers, in general, it's just in how many players you have in what positions. Not enough strikers. Way too many number 10s. Yeah, just not ideal. John says not loan, but sell Badiashile. Chalobah is totally better than the entire back line today. I agree. Need to sell Disasi too. He's never looked good enough. Liverpool City games last season sold the streams. Yeah, I mean, but again, what we have to give Disasi a little bit of leeway for is that he plays right back every time he plays at the moment, and that isn't going to help him, is it? But you know, you question things like on Sunday we had 2 right backs in the starting 11. One of them played left side of centre back in possession, and the other one played right back out of possession and left a right attacking mid in possession. Today we had 2 fullbacks, essentially fullbacks in the team, Cucurella and Renato Vega. And they were the left and the right central midfielder. What? Like, You could have just played 2 in the one game, 2 in the other game, give us better balance. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I found that very weird. I found it very weird. I would give Felix more minutes on Sunday. Honestly, I'm not bothered. I don't really care. Felix is essentially the Palmer replacement in the way Maresca views things, so it's not going to happen, is it? I get what you're saying, but where was the strategy besides pass the ball around? No subs. Pep would have won with the squad we have. How can we have a big club again if we excuse the current form? No, the whole Pep thing doesn't look great when you see what happened to what City did today. Let's open it and let's look at it if you want to. Why is it all so far away? I mean, they're still going. I mean, let's look at City's lineup as they lost 2-1 to Spurs today. Just to quickly look at that, Romani, because it's easy to say, oh, Pep would have won. Pep would have won this. Pep played, first of all, not a striker. He played a centre mid and left wing, just like Maresca did today. He played Gundogan as the 6, kind of just like we did today. Savinho is still one of the starting players. Stones is one of the starting players. Diaz is one of the starting players. Ake's not fully one of the starting players, but not far off, right? With Guardiola. And they lost as well against Timo Werner. Do you know what I mean? How do you lose? How do you concede against Timo Werner, of all people? At least Van der Ven got injured. That's something. But don't say, oh, Pep would have won if Pep literally goes and loses today. So I'm not quite on board with that one, if I'm honest, bro. I have to disagree with that. But I think to say there's no strategy because we passed the ball around, that is part of the strategy. The problem was that we couldn't pass it around their press. Had we beat their press, we would have had space and areas to win. I mean, wasn't necessarily my plan yet, Mason. Could theoretically. Let me see a few more messages in the chat. Loki, I wanted Hansi at Chelsea, seeing what he's doing at Barca. Getting ahead of yourself, guys. Getting ahead of yourself. Real Madrid should have been 3-0 up at halftime. Just because they won 4-0 doesn't mean they're doing any good. Do that against us or City, they're getting killed. Cucurella did play some right back on a punch. He did. What happened to Sancho? He's ill. He is ill. That's why Lavia is so much better than Enzo. I mean, Lavia hasn't played the position Enzo played yet. Like today, in terms of without Caicedo. Different ball game. Yeah, how would I do call-ins? How does Lewis even do it? Because I need to send you a link, but why do I send you this link? Do you know what I mean? You know what? Let's try. Let's see what happens. I'll give you the link. And I'll put the link in the chat. You're probably going to have to copy it. If you're going to join. If you want to join in the next few minutes, I'll let you join in the next few minutes. So, yeah. Try that and see if you can join. I'll give you a few. And if a couple of you turn up, we'll have a chat. And if not, I'll soon write, what is the word? Round this one out. Romani says, any team that studies our team easily figures out how knew we would try to pass out once we failed. That failed, we tried going direct, but we didn't really go direct. Like, we looked at the stats, like barely, like Jörgensen had 7 long balls compared to 19 of Santos in the last game. Badiashile, Disasi, Tosin, barely any long balls compared to loads in the last game. So we played loads of long balls in the league against them on Sunday and then played barely any of them today. Not really sure why. I can't tell you why. I'll be honest. Is Mudryk a starter in Premier League considering recent performances? The problem was that Neto was also really good against Newcastle in the league. So from that perspective, I would probably keep Neto. But what annoys me with that, if you play Maresca and Neto, then you have 2 left wingers not in the team. So maybe I would actually just go with Mudryk. Yeah, why not? Because, well, Sancho is first of all not allowed to play against United anyway. But more importantly, he wouldn't really suit that game. It's also really difficult to predict for me because obviously we're now going to face Ruben Amorim's Manchester United, which is going to be very different. And I've looked at Ruben Amorim when we were linked to him. But yeah, I mean, so far no one has joined. Mason, if you're trying, put it in the chat that you're trying to join or whatever. Otherwise, yeah. We've nearly gone an hour. It's nearly midnight here. So if we're not going to go for much longer, then I'm not too upset by that either. Let me see if there's any more messages or like quotes or anything interesting that was said post-match because, yeah, it was just a bit strange. Yeah, I mean, we get an interview by Renato Vega. I'm not sure if Chelsea are happy for me to show that, so probably not. You're trying. Okay, thank you, Mason. You keep trying to do that. No problem. If you can figure it out, I'm happy with that. It should be pretty straightforward usually, but we'll see. Why is Sanchez not playing on Sunday? Sanchez? I meant Sancho, bro. Sancho. He can't play against United because he's not allowed to play because he's on loan from them. Sanchez will play on Sunday, don't worry. Well, I say don't worry, do worry, I guess. But whichever way you're trying to look at it. Yeah, Mason, I feel a bit mean now because on the one hand, I want to now get you on if you're trying. On the other hand, I'm like, how long do I want to give you? It's a shame. Like if you asked that a little bit earlier, honestly, I might have put the link in earlier and it would have been fine. But now I'm kind of like, what do I even talk about anymore? JM says, don't even worry about the goalkeeper situation yet. Do worry. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do worry about it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You know what, Mason? Get in touch with me on Twitter or on Instagram, preferably on Twitter. Oh, no, it's worked. Hello, mate. Let me share the screen so we can actually see you. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. You said too much to type.
Cool.
Fill me in, bro. What do you think?
It's working.
What
Great.
is the thing that annoyed you most about today?
Thanks for having me, bro.
You're welcome.
Just the system, Maresca, how he set up, where he put the players. It was not like what we've been watching previously. First time I seen Kieran Dewsbury Hall on the right, Vega, not where he usually is. What was the problem? Why Gusto couldn't play?
That's what
I
I'm
just
asking
finished
myself.
work, mate. I'm hot. I'm sweating. I was just frustrated. I wanted to get back, have a chat.
You stand on it? Like when you see our squad and what we did today with the squad, it's like, why can't any of the first teamers play in midweek at least once? Like I get it for Conference League and stuff, but why couldn't Jackson play? Why couldn't Mudryk play? Why couldn't Palmer play? I don't understand why we had to take this game so lightly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I feel they really showed the levels today. That no one's getting in the Prem team today. For these players, they needed to step up today. They needed to show that they could do the same as the A team. I didn't like calling it the A team, but now it's clear there is an A team and a B team for me, and I never wanted to separate them like that, but it's what it is. I don't like how fans are saying, yeah, we move, because the pressure's on now. We've got to beat United. Maresca's put the pressure on himself more. These players got to feel the pressure more now because, they should have won today. I believe if we played how we usually play in that system, Vega on the left, and we had a right winger, and maybe Caicedo playing, we should have won that game.
Yeah, I think we could have. I mean,
I don't know about you, really, because there's a bit small mentality. Maresca, he doesn't show that he wanted that game, like Palmer on the bench.
I agree. No, exactly. That's exactly it. I mean, you say none of them have like, who did you think was maybe best player is a stretch, but who did you think was the least bad, I guess, of the lot?
The least bad?
Yeah.
Oh, Cucurella.
Best. And who do you think was the worst? Badiashile, Disasi, one of them?
Oh, the worst. I think Felix, because the 3 chances that he had, he should have scored. He should have scored.
Yeah, no, he should have scored them, to be fair. You can't argue. I mean, what do you make of the striker situation anyway? Obviously, you've got Jackson in most of the Prem games. I think we're all reasonably happy with Jackson. But the problem is, Nkunku being the only other option, he's like, the thing I can't understand is how we ever got here. Like, who even sees Nkunku as a striker? Like, especially as a lone striker, he shouldn't be that ever, let alone our only other option.
I get your point, and I get the fans' point that, Nkunku may have a bit more quality in the box, so you want him as the striker. But after today and the chances I seen Felix miss, I really feel like Nkunku should have been the second striker for those chances to fall to, because I think he's a lot more clinical And it just shows the need. We do need to go into the market and get another striker for competition for Jackson or an upgrade. But Jackson's still ticking boxes at the minute, so got to keep giving him his credit and be patient with him. He will come good, I'm sure. It can be frustrating. I would like to see Nkunku in the side as a second striker, but we've got Palmer in the 10, so the goalie as well, like that is a big issue. I don't really see us having like a number one. They're both number twos. We haven't. This is not Chelsea level. This is not. I've been a supporter since 2003, just before the club got took over. I followed them through blue, and I've seen it all, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better because now we're just missing cups, and we'd rather win against Newcastle on the weekend for point when we got all season to get points for top four, and now we're out of the cup, and that's just more mentality for me, and I don't like it.
That is an interesting take. I mean, I said it earlier that I would probably rather win in the league than in the cup, but not for the reason that I don't want to win the cup, but more from the perspective of the last few years that I'm like, just because we beat Newcastle is no guarantee that we win the cup, but 3 points is 3 points. I mean, so I'm like, okay, yeah, it would have been nice to win today, but we might have just been knocked out next round. Like, who knows who might be drawn against? We might be drawn against Liverpool again at Anfield and lose. You know what I mean? That can happen.
Yeah,
so I'd rather just have 3 points in the league. I get what you mean, though, in terms of like mentality. So obviously, I'm not like picking one or the other beforehand, and I think the manager underestimated the game today or took the game too lightly. Just play more of the stronger team
added
today.
Extra. We need to lift pressure to Sunday. If we want these points for top four, then Man United is a must win, or we can't draw points in these sort of games if we're going to prioritize top four and dismiss cups along the way. I'm not even confident we win the Conference League now after today.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting second half of the season when we go in a semi-final. Bloody hell, I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not either.
And yeah, I mean,
it's lovely for you to have me on. Thank you very much. I
appreciate it very, very much, man. Hey, it was your shout. I don't usually do call-ins, but I appreciate you suggesting and you coming on. Mason,
mate, you're the first person I've been on a live stream with, and I feel comfortable with you, and you're a great lad, and keep up the good work, doing what you're doing. I'm a big supporter, and all the best.
Appreciate you, my guy. Cheers. See you later, mate. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've had our first call-in on the show. Isn't it crazy? I enjoyed that. Thank you very much to Mason for coming on. We might be doing that more in the future towards the end of streams. Why not? Why not? Get you guys involved. But, ladies and gentlemen, on this note, I will round it out now. JM, I'll just finish with that message. If there's one minor trophy I'd worry about, it's a Conference League. Not too bummed about tonight. In a way, it's a blessing in disguise because it exposed who's not good enough for later Conference League rounds. Yeah, I can see that take as well. Honestly, I've been scarred by recent final losses. So I said it before, I'd rather lose tonight and early than in the final again because we've lost too many finals. It hurts. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe if you haven't done that either. Check out mine and Pisa's podcast. Link is down in the description below. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea. Upwards and onwards. I nearly said downwards and backwards, but let's stick to upwards and onwards. And we will see you next time.